Hello, I'm the programming coder, and in this Python beginner series, lesson 3, I'll be teaching you about the rest of the operations in Python like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponent operations, and floor division. So, let's get started. Now the first two operations we're going to learn about are addition and subtraction. So to do addition in Python, all you need to do is type the plus sign, and you will type two values between a plus sign. Like for example, I could type two integers, 2 plus 3, that'll give me 5, or I could type two floats, like this, that means 0.8, or I could type a float and an integer. And I could do many things. I could also assign variables to number with addition operations, like this for example. Or I could make variables equal to variables added to each other, so I can make c equal to a plus b. The addition operation has no bounds, but did you know you can also add strings with the addition operator? Like this. Let's say I wanted to print hello world, but I wanted to add hello and world together. So let's say I made a equal to hello, and I made b equal to world. And then I could print out a plus b, and that would give me hello world, but it would be smushed up together because there are no spaces between these words here. I could also make the variable c equal to a plus b, and then I could type c, hello world. I could print c also, and it would just give me the same results as a plus b. But it's pretty cool that you can add strings also with the addition operator. So now for subtraction, all you need to do is type the minus sign, and then you would type two values between it. For example, I could do two integers like 2 minus 1, two floats like 0.5 minus 0.8, minus 0.8. Or I could do something like an integer minus a float, so 2 minus 1.5. But sadly, you cannot subtract strings with the subtraction operator, so this is all for the addition and subtraction operators. It's time to learn about multiplication and division operators now. So, to use multiplication, you would not type an x, but instead you would type an asterisk, because the computer may think that x is a variable instead of an operator. So to type an asterisk, you would do shift, and then you would type 8 to do that. So for multiplication, you can multiply integers, you can multiply floats, or you can multiply integer by integer, like this. Now, I accidentally didn't make a float here, but that's fine. So I can make variables equal to multiplication, like a equals 2, b equals 3, c equals a times b, and then c would equal 6. But you can also multiply strings, like addition. So you could say something like print money 3 times, I don't know. And then it would just print money, money, money 3 times. No spaces, because I didn't add any spaces here. But if I were to say print money with a space in it, like this, and then I wrote times 3, instead it would just print it with spaces. So that's a little trick, just to know, to make it a bit neater. But you could also make a variable equal to a number, like c for example, and I could print hello world with a space in it, and then I'll multiply it by c, by c, and then it would just print hello world, hello world, hello world, just a lot of times. It's crazy. So that's the multiplication operator. Now it's time for the division. So to do division, you would type the slash, because there's no such thing as a division symbol on the keyboard. So to do this, you could divide integers together like this, or you could divide floats together like this, or you could divide an integer and a float like this. And you can't divide strings, sadly, but you can divide numbers. And division operator, use a slash. Multiplication operator, use an asterisk. So that's it for multiplication and division operators. So now it's time to talk about exponents and floor division. So to write exponents in Python, you need to write 2 asterisk signs, just like writing a multiplication sign, just twice. And then the first number you have to write is called the base. And then the second number you have to write is the number of times you're going to multiply the base by. Now, if you don't know exponents, I can teach it to you quickly on this handy-dandy piece of paper. So when writing exponents, you first write the base, like that. Then you write the two asterisk signs, but I'm going to write x's. And then you write by the number of times you're going to multiply by. So the base is 2, so I'm going to write 2 over here. And then I have to multiply 2 times. So 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4. So if I were to do this, but if I did this with 3's instead, like 3, and then to the power of 3, my base is 3, so I'm going to write 3 down here, and then I'm going to multiply 3 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. And if we write that in the Python code, that's what we should also get. So if I write 3, 2 asterisk signs, 3, it should make the number 27. So that's how exponents work in Python. And now for floor division, which I find to be a bit more challenging, but it'll be easy to understand once you get it. So in floor division, to write it, you need 2 slashes, kind of like 2 multiplication signs, except you use the division signs. And let's say you're dividing by 2, okay? Floor division by 2, okay, you get 2. That's normal. Now, what if I did 5 floor division by 2? Well, the answer is still 2, but it should be 2.5. Why is that? Well, there's something called remainders, and in floor division, they take out the remainder, and the final answer is the answer for the division problem. So let's say I did 4 divided by 2, like this. So 4 divided by 2, well, that's going to equal 2, right? Makes sense. But if I did 5 divided by 2, and I included remainders, then it's going to have 2 because 4 divided by 2 is 2. But it's going to be left at 1 divided by 2. But that can't be divided into an integer. So the remainder is going to be 1. So what floor division does is it circles a remainder, then it cancels it out, and then this is the final answer. So if I did floor division, let's say with 7, what do you think our answer should be? Well, if you said 2, you'd be correct, because, as you can see here, whoops, just erasing everything really quickly. So let's say 7 divided by 3, right? What's the closest number you can think of that can be divided by 3 and result in an integer? Well, that's 6, right? So, wow, come on. I can't write a 6 on here. Well, we know that 6 divided by 3 is 2, right? So, we're going to be left with 1. And 1 divided by 3 is the remainder. So, the remainder would be 1. So, we'll cross that out, right? And 2 would be our answer. So, that's how floor division works in Python. And you learned about the exponents, which is 2 asterisks, and the floor division, which is 2 division signs. It's now time for a quick quiz for operations part 2. For the first question, what do you type in Python to use division? If you thought of the slash, you are correct. For our next question, what do you type in Python to use subtraction? If you thought of the minus sign, you are correct. For the next question, what do you type in Python to use exponents? If you thought of the double asterisk sign, you are correct. For our next question, what do you type in Python to use addition? If you thought of the plus sign, you are correct. For the next question, what do you type in Python to use floor division? If you thought of the double slash or 2 slashes, you are correct. And for this one, what do you type in Python to do multiplication? If you thought of the asterisk sign, you are correct. And for the last one, what's the answer to this equation? 27 floor divided by 5. If you thought of 5, you are correct. And that's it for the quick quiz. It is time for your assignment in the Operations Part 2 lesson. For the first assignment, you have to add 2 strings together and assign them to a variable. Then you have to print the variable. For the next assignment, you have to multiply any string in the print function by 10. For the next one, you have to divide 10 by 6 subtracted by 3 on the same line. And for the last assignment, you have to make a variable equal to a float, and then make the variable multiply by itself 3 times with the exponent operation. And those are all the assignments for this lesson. So for the assignment, your first question was to make a variable equal to 2 strings added together and then print the variable. So what I would do is I would say A is equal to hello and then plus world, and then I would just print A, and this could be the answer to the first problem. Now for the second question, you are asked to print the same string 10 times, so I will just print, I don't know, money maybe, and then I would multiply it by 10, and so it would just print money 10 times. If you want to make it a bit neater, then you could just add a space at the end and, you know, make it a bit better, and it would still be correct. So money with spaces, readable, and that's the second answer. Now for the third question, you're asked to divide 10 by 6 subtracted by 3 on the same line. So what I would do is this, but then we haven't really learned this, so if you know order of operations, you might know this, but if you don't, just follow me. So you would just do 6 subtracted by 3 in parentheses, so it would do this first, and then it would divide 10 by 3. So if I click this, it would make the answer 3.3333333 endlessly. And then for the last question, you were asked to make a variable equal to a float, and then make it exponent or multiply by itself 3 times. So what you would do for this, it would be say like A equals, I'll just do 0.5 because it just comes to my head first. And then what you would do is you would say A asterisk asterisk to the power of 3, and this will make A multiply by itself 3 times. So you would get an answer like this. You could do different assignments for floats, but these are the 4 answers to the assignment for this lesson.